Hi guys, welcome back to GRS University. I'm Molly Lisea, and on this episode, we're gonna have a special guest from here at GRS. He's going to be talking about filters and when it's time to replace those. So let's go. Hi guys, this is Greg Gentry. He is our repair technician here at GRS, and he's going to talk to you about your filter.
Okay, so the maintenance on your machine, one of the most important things that we look at is the dry air that goes into your machine. The way that we do that is through this filtering system. Compressed air can condense moisture, and you can get oil in that air pressure line. You'll be able to see it inside the bowl. There's a maximum fill line at the bottom. If you see moisture in this bowl, it's time to drain the bowl and maybe change the filter. The filters, when they're new, are bright white. If your filter is ivory, or if your filter is even orange or brown, it's probably time to service your machine if it's orange or brown. But if you're gonna change it yourself, the way that you do that is you turn your machine off, you turn off your air compressor, and then you can relieve the pressure in your system by loosening the screw on the bottom of the bowl. Moisture will come out of the bottom. You'll catch it with a towel or maybe a cup if there's a lot of water in there. And then we can remove this metal outside bowl. So to change the filter, first thing we're going to do is remove this outside metal bowl. It unscrews and it reveals the plastic bowl on the inside. This pulls straight out. It has an O-ring. If it's been wet, or especially if it's been oil contaminated, this O-ring may be expanded. And if it is, you need to replace that. The part number there is 024014. But what you do is you'll remove the screw in the bottom of this assembly. This filter comes out in 3 parts. It has a top air diffuser, the filter itself, and then the bottom bracket with the screw in it. You just replace the filter in exactly the opposite way, backwards of how we put it together. Wipe the bowl clean. You may drop a few drops of alcohol in there in a paper towel and just wipe it real clean. It presses into place. It's a good time to check to make sure it's closed again. Replace the metal protective outside bracket. And there you go. Your filter's changed. Tighten that down. Hook it back to your compressor. Turn your compressor on, turn your machine on. You've changed the filter in your machine.
Okay, so now that you know that an orange filter is bad, Greg, what are some other things that you can tell us about filters and how to keep up the maintenance?
The airstream actually starts in the compressor. So that's where we want to start the visual inspection. There's our filters on the compressor. There's a line coming from the compressor. What happens is when we compress atmospheric air, we condense moisture that sits in the bottom of the air compressor. And when we develop enough moisture in the bottom of the air compressor, it atomizes and gets into the air supply line that then gets into your machine. That's the wet air that destroys the electronic switching devices inside the machine. So you can drain your compressor every day. There's a petcock that allows you to take the air out of the tank. So you turn your tank off, you'd open the petcock, and again, catch it with a towel or a cup or a can, and do this at the end of every session, every day. What I tell a lot of people is, with a new system, is drain your air tank every day, because where you live, your humidity, your pressure, it's gonna be different. So drain it every day that you work. If you do that for a week and you get the idea that you really only might need to drain it every 2 or 3 days, then drain it every 3 days and do that for a month. If you think that maybe where you live, you don't compress that much moisture into your air and you can drain it every week, well, drain it once a week, but do that for 6 months. Incorporate a seasonal change. And after a while, you get a feeling for how much moisture you're collecting in your compressor. But then keep an eye on those lines. Keep an eye on your filter bowl. And the idea here is this is a good place for you to catch the moisture. You can see in that window, you can catch the moisture before it gets inside your machine. That's the whole idea.
That's a good tip, because there's a lot of people who live in very humid areas and they know it, but we can't really give you a solid recommendation. You might have a dehumidifier, you might, be working in a basement. So there's a lot of variance in there. So that's a good tip. Is there another maybe safeguard or something that you can help with your machine?
What we've had a lot of luck with is this part right here. This is a 004730. It's an oil coalescing filter that we sell here at GRS. And what it is it's actually two filters combined with a bracket. And what this does is this mounts near your bench on your wall in addition to your filter. So your setup might look a little something like this. And so then your compressor hose actually enters into the oil coalescing filter and then goes out of the filter into this filter. I like a little loop or a long loop down towards the floor to come back up because this gives you another visual. But I actually have a customer in North Carolina who has 3 of these in line because he fought his humidity constantly in his shop the way his setup was. And the more filtration, it doesn't reduce your air pressure, it doesn't do anything, but it gives you 3 places, in his case, 3 places or 1 place, another place to look inside, take the bowls off, wipe them dry, drain the water out. Just more layers of protection before the air gets into your machine. If the air that comes into your machine is dry, these machines will last for decades with minimal service. If they get wet, you'll need to send it in to get it repaired.
Okay, so protect yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. This week's suggested Instagram user is Carl Brenneman. Super, super nice guy. Go look at his posts on Instagram and check out all of his beautiful flare cutting that he does. And then if you want to be our next suggested Instagram user, tag us on your next post at GRS Tools, and then go to YouTube, go to Facebook, go to all those social media platforms, give us a like and subscribe. And then I need you to throw your comments down below on what you want to see, because we're trying to up our content. We want to know what you want to see. I think that's it. Throw the comments down below. We'll see you later.